have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlin. I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're going to prove her, we're going to show her what the W really is. I'm like, what are people doing? It's just too much.
Sophie Cunningham, who is renowned for her intense energy and ferocious competition on the court, was utterly astounded just a few seconds ago, and not by a rival. A reporter made an astounding revelation during a live post-game interview, remarked that changed the atmosphere right away as soon as the words were spoken. Cameras captured her reaction, and fans were astounded at what they could hear. Was it a secret disclosure, an insult, or something that completely undermined her self-confidence? Sophie's quiet spoke it all, whatever it was. Now, everyone is trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. It was meant to be a standard post-game news conference, but the interview left her dumbfounded. Sophie Cunningham, who was instrumental on both offense and defense, had guided her side to an exciting victory. Her focus was razor-sharp. Her enthusiasm on the court was electrifying, and the victory was well-deserved. The press room was bustling with excitement, flashing cameras, and reporters waiting to hear what she thought of the game. Everyone anticipated the typical combination of inquiries concerning performance, strategy, and future actions. Then, however, an unexpected event occurred. Leaning closer, a seasoned sports reporter, known for his direct inquiries and sly delivery, asked a query that made everyone in the room shiver. He smiled subtly and asked, "Sophie, do you believe your recent success is less about aptitude and more about timing and luck?" There was a loud, distinct gasp that echoed around the room. The reporter's delivery was just as important as what he said. His tone conveyed more than just words. It suggested something more profound, something offensive. He was challenging Sophie Cunningham's journey rather than merely posing question. Her hard-won achievement. Was her ascent to prominence in the basketball world purely coincidental? Was the timing just right? Everything stopped for a heartbeat. The audience held their breath. Sophie, renowned for her audacity and ferociousness, confidence, remained motionless. Her eyes widened slightly, but that was about the only change in her demeanor. However, the quiet said a lot. Everyone could sense the tension in that moment of silence. Were years of early mornings truly being dismissed by this man? Unrelenting training, excruciating injuries, and selfless sacrifices. Was he really implying that all, without luck on her side, the grind, progress, and glory she had strived for would have been meaningless? It was an electrifying moment, plenty with suspense and incredulity. One thing became evident as the stillness continued. This wasn't only a query, it was difficult. And Sophie stood in the center of it. Shaken or not, time appeared to pause for an instant. But Sophie, a real rival, pulled herself together. She didn't speak out. She refrained from snapping. Instead, she responded in a cool, collected manner that cut more deeply than any explosion could. With steady assurance, "Yeah, maybe I've been really lucky if luck scores points, plays defense, and spends hours grinding the gym," she retorted. "However, I am fully aware of who I am. I am aware of what it takes to get here. That isn't a coincidence, that's labor." The room blew up. Reporters hurried to tweet what she had said. Videos of the conversation went viral on social media. Fans worldwide applauded her and clapped back, complimenting her poise under duress and the veracity of her statements. It was one of the season's most impactful moments, according to sports pundits, not only because of what she said, but because of what it stood for. Because there was more to that one question. It served as a reminder that women in sports, women nevertheless frequently compelled to explain their status, their abilities, and their value in ways that male athletes hardly ever encounter. Sophie's response resonated in the hearts of innumerable people, not just one nasty inquiry. Athletes and supporters, resonating as a demand for justice, respect, and acknowledgement. During that brief conversation, the world was reminded by Sophie Cunningham that what people refer to as chance is really only the outward manifestation of unrelenting work and unwavering faith. How has Sophie consistently worked hard outside a courtroom, changed her reputation to become a prosperous basketball player? Let's examine the specifics of her difficulties from the outset to her ascent in the game. From modest beginnings to the national arena, The ascent of Sophie Cunningham in basketball. Her tale is extremely motivating since she didn't become famous overnight. She wasn't famous by birth, nor did she happen upon brilliance by accident. Sophie's adventure started in the center of Columbia, Missouri, a small, close-knit village with tremendous goals but little attention. Sophie stood out from an early age, not because she was the strongest or tallest, but rather because she always had an unquenchable fire in her heart. She grabbed a basketball. For Sophie, basketball was more than simply a sport. It was her lifeblood, the one thing that kindled her spirit. She gave the sport her all from an early age. Sophie trained with unwavering determination, pursuing a dream that only she could achieve, while others played for fun. Could actually see she had an unparalleled work ethic. And people quickly became aware of it. By the time she entered Rockbridge, her name was already making waves in high school. She was fiery, quick, courageous, and explosive on the court. She changed the game, not simply played it. Her enthusiasm inspired her teammates. Her abilities astounded the spectators. And her self-assurance gave each game the impression that something unique was happening. People attended more than just games. They came to see her in order to support the team. When Sophie put on her shoes and positioned herself, it seemed as though the whole altered. You could sense it. There was going to be an exciting, wonderful event. Sophie was more than just a participant, was a sensation, a living spark that made basketball more thrilling, motivating, and memorable for everyone who observed. She not only broke records at Rockbridge, but she also rewrote them. Championships came next, triumphs accumulated. However, it wasn't only the quantity of victories that made her high school career legendary. Rather, it was how. She played with passion, without fear, and with a degree of concentration that was clear. She had a destiny. Larger. College scouts were now rushing rather than merely intrigued. Everyone desired Sophie to be on their roster. Her name was now well known outside of Missouri. Nevertheless, in spite of the increasing focus, she didn't lose her ground. The girl from a tiny town who fell in love with a dream and a ball never changed. Her game improved, becoming more explosive, sharper, and smarter. Sophie's path serves as a reminder that brilliance is not something that comes prepackaged. Day by day, sweat by sweat, shot after shot, it is earned. She created her legacy in the shadows rather than in the forefront, of self-control when no one was around. Her tale is one of perseverance, ardor, and unadulterated hard work. It's about having confidence in oneself, long before anyone notices. Therefore, when people discuss Sophie Cunningham's fierce energy today, they are witnessing the fruits of years of hidden labor in her court appearance and daring manner. What they could overlook, the young Colombian girl who once had a basketball in her hands and never ceased dreaming is, unless people look closely, pursuing that ambition. The IT is still being written, and that is the true narrative. Sophie undoubtedly continued. She worked hard to fulfill her dream of becoming great. What was the outcome of her pursuit of her dreams? Let's investigate. Creating a legacy at Mizzou. When Sophie Cunningham boldly decided to remain near, nobody could have guessed how much that one choice would affect home and play for the University of Missouri. Would cause a stir. IT was more than just signing a contract with a college basketball team. It was the start of a strong tale that would permanently change the direction of Mizzou's women's basketball program. As soon as she set foot on, Sophie took more than just her talent to the court while dressed in black and gold. She brought battle, fire, and more, and she exuded a fearless spirit that soon became unavoidable. She didn't just fit in with the group, she distinguished herself and carried the entire program with her. Sophie forced people to pause and observe game after game. Indeed, the statistics were present. Like a seasoned pro, she amassed points, rebounds, assists, and steals. However, it was more than simply the figures. She was unique because of that IT was the confidence she exuded and the manner in which she handled herself. The manner in which she would gaze down a defense, make a difficult shot, and show the audience how passionate she is. Sophie performed with a confident demeanor that thrilled supporters and shaken rivals. She came to dominate, not just to play basketball, and ensure that her name was known to everyone in the building. But Sophie's athletic prowess wasn't the only thing that really set her apart. It was her voice. Her bravery in speaking up, exercising vocal and emotional leadership, and accepting criticism without recoiling. She didn't hesitate to speak up and demand that things change.